Hi, this video is on factoring by grouping. So factoring by grouping is a method we use when we have an algebraic expression. We may or may not have the greatest common factor, but most of the time we don't. And what we often gotta look for is something that contains 4 terms, because that would allow you to group them in pairs. So if you look at each one of these expressions, I'm not gonna even get into discussing this, but neither one of them is going to have a common factor that you can take out. Like if you look at this one, you got x cubed, x squared, and x. Everything looks good so far, but then all of a sudden there is no x here. You have 10, 5, 50, it looks okay, but there is no number here, so you can't take anything out that's common except 1, but we're not interested in this. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to group them together. And typically we just take the first 2 terms. I will have to explain to you one thing that you need to be very careful about when we get to these examples, but when you put this sign here, it's not as simple as just putting parentheses, because you're basically factoring out positive 1. It's not going to matter here, but it will matter in other problems. So what is the greatest common factor here between x cubed and 10x squared? Well, it looks like I can factor out x squared just for these 2 terms. So then x cubed divided by x squared is x, 10x squared divided by x squared is 10. What can I factor out here? 5x and 50, I can certainly take out 5, and I'm going to be left with x plus 10. So as long as you're getting what I'm getting, which is the same exact expression in parentheses, you are on the right track. Okay, because you have this and this. So here is the idea behind this method. X plus 10 is multiplied by x squared, and x plus 10 is also multiplied by 5, which makes it a common factor. So what we do is we take it out as the greatest common factor. Well, it's technically not necessarily greatest common factor, but it's a common factor. So when you take it out, which means you divide both quantities by x plus 10, what's left? Here, once you remove x plus 10, you're going to be left with x squared. Here, when you remove that, you're going to be left with plus 5. And guess what? This is the answer. Let's take a look at the next problem. So we've got 2y cubed plus y squared plus 8y plus 4. So 2y cubed plus y squared go together, plus it's positive, you factor out positive 1, 8y plus 4. What can you take out here? It's a common factor here is going to be y squared. That's going to leave you with 2y plus y squared divided by y squared is 1. Plus, what can you take out here? Well, you can factor out 4. So we take out 4, 8y divided by 4 is 2y, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. See again, we have a common factor here of 2y plus 1, which can be taken out as a common factor. And that's going to, so we do that, 2y plus 1, and that's going to leave you with y squared plus 4. How do you verify if this is correct? All you need to do is FOIL it. And if you get the same exact polynomial that we started with, then you did it right. Alright, moving on. This here. So we got 4n cubed minus 12n squared, group them together, plus 1, group these 2 together. 4n squared plus minus 12n squared, we can factor out 4n squared. That's going to leave you with n minus 3. Plus, here we can factor out 3. It's going to leave you with n minus 3. Again, we have the same thing. So we can factor it out. So we take out n minus 3. We're going to be left with 4n squared plus 3. Okay. Now we're getting to that situation where you need to be careful, and that's what I was trying to talk about earlier. So the first 2 terms go together very neatly. The problem is this: when you have a minus here, you're basically going to have to factor out negative 1. When you factor out, it's a very common mistake. When you factor out negative 1, you divide each term here that follows by negative 1. Negative 10 divided by negative 1 gives you positive 10x. Negative 5 divided by negative 1 will give you plus 5. Very, very important. Now let's look at common factors. X squared here, that's going to leave you with 2x plus 1. Minus, what can we factor out here? 5, right? 10x divided by 5 is 2x. And then plus 5 divided by 5 is 1. So we have 2x plus 1, 2x plus 1. We factor it out. That's going to leave us with x squared minus 5. We are done. Okay, continuing. This problem, it has all pluses. This one's kind of nice. So here we can do 4b cubed plus b squared together, plus 1 ab plus 2. So here we can factor out b squared. That's going to leave you with 4b plus 1. Here we can factor out 2. That's going to leave you with 4b plus 1. Remember again, you need to have a common quantity in parentheses, then it becomes your common factor. 4b plus 1 comes out. We're going to be left with b squared plus 2. Okay. Next problem. So we have 28k cubed minus 4k squared minus 35k plus 5. So 28k cubed minus 4k squared go together. We have a minus here. Let's make sure we factor out negative 1. So divide each term that follows by negative 1. So it becomes positive 35k minus 5. So what we need to do now is look for a common factor for each one. So here you can factor out 4k squared, which is going to leave you with 7k minus 1, minus, here we can factor out 5, which is going to leave you with 7k minus 1. Same quantity, 7k minus 1 comes out, and here we're going to have 4k minus 5, I'm sorry, 4k squared minus 5, and we are done with this problem. So this concept is actually not hard, you just need to handle the parentheses very carefully along with the sign. Okay, let's take a look at this. So now we have multiple variables. All the idea is going to be the same. So 20xy plus 12x plus 15y plus 9. It's nice, we have 1 here, positive, right? So what can we factor out here? Here we can factor out 4x. That's going to leave you with 5y plus 3. Here we can factor out 3. It's going to also leave you with 5y plus 3. Same quantity, common factor, 5y plus 3. And the other parentheses will have 4x plus 3. Again, any of these answers can be verified by foiling. You can foil this and you can see whether or not you're getting the same answer as the original. Okay. Number 8. Got this expression. So I'm going to group them together. 24xy plus 64x squared plus 1, 42y plus 112x. What can be factored out here? You can actually factor out 8x. That's going to leave you with 3y plus 8x. What can you factor out of this? 14. It's going to leave you with 3y plus 8x. Okay, common factor. So we take it out, 3y plus 8x. And in the other parentheses, we're going to have 8x plus 14. Okay, I have a couple more examples. We are almost done. Alright, this one, 21mn plus 49m minus 9n minus 21. So we're going to group them together again. Remember, if the middle sign is a minus, you need to handle it properly. You're factoring -1, which means you divide each term after that by -1. So negative 9n becomes positive 9n, negative 21 becomes positive 21. What can we factor out of this? 21 and 49, that's going to be 7, and you have m. So over here you're going to be left with 3n plus 7. Here you can factor out 3. You divide that, you're going to be left with 3n plus 7. You have the same quantity. That's our common factor. And then the other parentheses will take 7m minus 3. Okay, this last example that I want to show you, it's a little tricky because the way the terms are given to you, you're not going to be able to factor it by grouping very well. So what we're going to do, I'm going to rewrite that. So I'm going to keep the first term, and the idea that I'm using is I want to put something that can be factored together. So if I group these two terms together, I have quite a bit that I can do. I can shuffle the terms any way I want. Then I'm going to put plus 30b squared and minus 25b. So all I did right now is reorganize the terms. I have not really changed anything else. It's the same exact expression. Okay, so here I can do 42ab minus 35a plus positive, so 130b squared minus 25b. So what can I do here? Here I can factor out 7a, which will leave me with 6b minus 5. Here I can factor out 5b, which will leave me with 6b minus 5. I have 6b minus 5 in both. So I take 6b minus 5 out, and then the other parentheses will have 7a plus 5b, and this completes this problem. Okay, and I hope this helps.